Welcome and welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Tommy Dizzy McNatural, and today we're going to talk about the ROG Xbox Ally and why people are so up in arms about it. Let's jump into it, shall we?
I'm stronger, I'm smarter, I'm better. I am better.
So this little puppy right here has got everyone in a little bit of a tizzy here. We got the ROG Xbox Ally and the Ally X. Right, and first of all, I don't know if this is gonna be comfortable, man. I mean, it's the design is okay, but I just don't know how comfortable that's gonna feel in the hand. But that is not why everyone who's not an Xbox fan is not really happy necessarily about this. And a lot of people are thinking that because Xbox has partnered with Asus in tandem with their ROG model, they think that Xbox is getting out of the hardware game, and it's really like not a big issue. I think it's a bigger issue that people try to push than it actually is. The really cool thing about this device is what you could do with the original ROG Ally and Ally X right now, and that's pretty much play all of your library on one handheld device, because essentially this is just a mini PC. It's a handheld PC essentially. I think you'll be able to dock this just like the original, the first model of the ROG Ally. I don't really know what too much of a difference is with it being Xbox partnered. I'm sure there's something. You get the game bar, but I'm pretty sure you can get Game Pass on the ROG Ally right now, the one that's on the market at this moment. This one's coming out this holiday season, but the big thing is people are mad and they're thinking that Xbox is just sold out and they're no longer making hardware, and it's just really funny to see. And I think Sarabon just had a commercial saying that they're working on the next Xbox hardware consoles at this point in time, but it's really crazy to think that companies like Nintendo and PlayStation, who hinge their business model on hardware, push so much hardware out, but it seems like Xbox is really just kind of putting their brand of Xbox on everything. It's crazy marketing to really think of it. But I think the one downside to this is going to be the price. These two devices' future basically hinges off of how much it's going to cost the consumer to buy these things. Just like the ROG Ally and any handheld device, really, the handheld market, even though it's starting to boom, it's still pretty niche. It's not mainstream like how home consoles are at this moment in time. So the pricing, it's probably going to be pretty ugly, just like how the original is. The interesting thing here is people think because they've partnered Xbox, Microsoft has partnered their Xbox with ROG, it means Xbox isn't making hardware. So the design hardware falls on ROG, or there's probably some sort of partnership, but the main manufacturing is most likely coming from Asus. But here's what people are failing to understand, and I know they're two different budgets, right? There's a manufacturing cost for your hardware to budget, and I know that there's game development budget. They're two separate things, but think of it this way. Both of those budgets come from one pool of revenue, and if one pool of that budget gets lighter, that creates more money for the pool of revenue to pull from. So essentially what I'm saying is, if Xbox starts to alleviate the cost of hardware on then putting it on someone else's dime, that leaves more revenue to put into game development budget, i.e. having more money to make better games. And I think that's a lot of people, the consumer and people who are raving about this thing, are not really understanding. They're not kind of grasping, and I could be wrong, I could be completely wrong, but I'm just saying, if I was a company, I had a pool of money and I said this amount goes here, this amount goes here, and then I go, oh, I don't need to put this much over here in this pool, I can take some of that money back, I can essentially put it over here in this pool. It's pretty simple. It's 1 2 3's ABCs type thing. But I don't hear anyone talking about that. And that's ultimately what it comes down to, is having the budget for game development companies to stay open and be able to make better games and have a bigger budget to meet the cost of game development. as it is today, because the budget for game development is outrageous at this moment in time. And I think this is a smart business move for Xbox and Microsoft in order for them to keep their Xbox brand alive. I don't know if their business model hinges on it. I don't know. Just as a consumer, just having thoughts about it. But I think this is ultimately a good thing, even if they started to license out their Xbox brand to different manufacturing like Asus and AMD or Lenovo, or these big companies, these big tech companies, manufacturing companies. I think it's smart because it's gonna alleviate the manufacturing cost for their own hardware. But on the downside, here's the downside, is you start licensing your brand out to all these companies. Every company is going to have a different level of performance for their devices. So for Xbox, who came into this generation saying that there is a parity clause with the Xbox Series S and the X, where you had to match or make a game playable on the Series S, this kind of defeats the purpose of that if this is the route they're gonna go in the future. You get what I'm saying? If everyone's making a new Xbox or different Xbox hardware, then it's going to get oversaturated, and then you're also going to have different performances for your Xbox, and it can become a very slippery slope, and it can become very confusing for the consumers. So, but ultimately, I think this is a good thing. If they just kept it to handheld, that would be awesome, and we still get the hardware, like the consoles. That would be cool. If they just alleviated the cost of hardware for their peripherals to other companies, as long as they're good devices, I don't see what the problem is. But that's kind of my take on it. You guys let me know what you think down there in that comment section down below. If you like the video, make sure you hit it with a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. As always, it has been your boy. It's been real. I'm out. Later.